Folks, Congress has bought yet another penny stock, and we need to break it down for you today. Now, in this election year, many people are saying, oh, everyone is just so polarized and so divided. Well, it should warm your heart to know that both Republicans and Democrats in the House and the Senate agree on one thing, and that is making money in the stock market. And not just any kind of money, but lots of money. Now, they may disagree on what to do with your money, but boy, trust me, they love making their own money. Remember, data shows many members of Congress outperform the S&P 500 again and again and again. And if you've watched my other congressional trade videos, you'll notice many of the stocks we've mentioned have gone on to get more government contracts, more favorable regulation, and in many cases have had some serious pumps to their share prices. And so in today's video, we're going to bring you a biotech penny stock that a key congressman who sits in a powerful position in many relevant committees owns. This is an individual who has been attending and aiding in hearings on removing regulatory burdens on small companies in the healthcare space. And the stock he bought seems to fit the definition perfectly. And that stock is SBFM, Sunshine Biopharma. In today's video, I'm going to break down what it is, catalysts it has coming down the road, why the congressman might be buying it, and the upside potential. We'll then be discussing my thoughts on strategies on how to play this. And of course, a quick reminder, as always, if you're the one taking the risk, you got to be the one doing the ultimate frisk. Make sure to do your own due diligence on all ideas presented here on the channel. And today's video is brought to you by the up to 30 free stocks you can get simply for trying out the excellent platform linked down below called Moomoo. Moomoo is offering this excellent limited time offer and you don't want to miss it. Okay, let's get to work. So SBFM. So what is Sunshine Biopharma and what makes it so intriguing that a congressman on key committees is buying it? And more importantly, what could be the potential upside for you, the investor slash trader slash market participant? I'm going to break all that down, plus give you actionable strategies to consider. So Sunshine Biopharma is a biotechnology company specializing in developing life-saving drugs for oncology. They're working on groundbreaking research that targets some of the deadliest diseases we face today, cancer being one of the biggest. Their flagship drug candidate is ADVA27A, a compound designed to combat several types of cancer, including pancreatic cancer, which has one of the lowest survival rates, unfortunately. The goal of ADVA27A is to specifically attack cancer cells without harming the healthy ones, something that traditional chemotherapy struggles to do. And here's where it gets interesting. ADVA27A has already shown promise in preclinical trials for not just one, but multiple forms of cancer, including breast cancer and certain rare forms that often get overlooked by big pharma. On top of that, Sunshine Biopharma is working on antiviral treatments which came into focus during the pandemic. Their antiviral initiatives could have broad applications beyond C19, positioning them as a potential long-term player in this critical space. Now, why exactly would a congressman buy this particular stock? Well, we've seen time and time again how political influence intersects with stock picks. This congressman sits on committees that directly influence healthcare regulation. He's also been involved in hearings aimed at reducing regulatory burdens for smaller biotech companies. I mean, these are specific committee hearings that he is quoted as being in and giving a ton of insight on and having a huge sway in. And you can find a lot of articles on this. There's no shortage of quotes from Congressman Roger Williams talking about how small biotech companies need to be deregulated. And maybe we agree with that, maybe we don't, but what matters is he's sitting in these hearings, he's swaying these meetings, he has a lot to do with the regulation on these types of stocks. And more importantly, he has a lot of insight into what's going on. He might not be a dictator in the space, but he certainly gets all of the latest information, right? Biostocks, of course, can be a high-risk, high-reward investment. They're known for their volatility, but if a small company like SBFM hits a breakthrough, especially with a drug like ADVA27A, well, the stock price can absolutely skyrocket. So what are the potential catalysts that could move Sunshine Biopharma's stock price? Well, number one, clinical trial progress. The most significant short-term catalyst is progress of these ADVA27A trials. If the company announces positive results from ongoing or future clinical trials, that alone could lead to an explosive rally in the stock. Now, keep in mind, for small cap biotechs, clinical news is often the primary driver of price action. Now, the second catalyst could be FDA milestones. SBFM is moving toward FDA approvals very rapidly. Any update on this front, whether it's gets a fast-track designation, approval to begin phase 2 trials, or even progress reports will likely cause a massive shift in sentiment, which could do rally-rally-tos to the stock price. Early phase approval can push the stock higher as institutional investors and larger biotech companies start to take notice. Number 3, strategic partnerships. Another catalyst is the potential for partnerships. I mean, Sunshine Biopharma could partner with bigger pharmaceutical companies, like we've seen a lot of times in the space, that are interested in their oncology or antiviral treatments. A well-structured partnership can infuse the company with cash, provide expertise, and significantly bolster its research and development efforts. The 4th catalyst, government contracts and funding. With their work in antiviral treatment, Sunshine Biopharma could also secure some big government contracts, especially given the current focus on pandemic preparedness that government is investing into right now. If the government were to back their antiviral research, it could give them a massive edge over competitors and solidify their financial future. Obviously very speculative there, but hey, it is a potential catalyst. Okay, so price targets. Where could SBFM go? Well, let's talk about the potential upside here. Right now, of course, SBFM is a dirty little penny stock, but here's where things could get exciting. Analysts who are following the stock, who usually have a pretty bearish view on penny stocks overall, have some interesting price targets here. In terms of a long-term price target, you're seeing price targets as high as $5 and beyond. Yes, this may seem a little far-fetched right now, but keep in mind that small biotech companies have been known to surge well beyond their initial penny stock valuation when their drug candidates receive FDA approval. If you're a small, tiny company and all of a sudden, and your whole company is betting on one drug, well, if that drug works, if that drug gets the approval, if that drug goes nicely through the pipeline, well, you could see huge rally-tos in the process, and certainly after the process is finished. If ADVA27A is successful in getting that ultimate FDA approval, well, it could definitely reach that $5 mark, if not higher. But always remember, folks, when a low float penny stock has a catalyst, that means it can spike way farther than any fundamentals can justify, allowing you to get in and get out with a nice juicy profit. A lot of times the best way to play this is not by holding and hoping, but rather by simply playing the run, getting the run, capturing the run, and then getting out and home to mama. And of course, papa. Of course, with these price targets come risks, but upside potential is hard to deny, especially when we factor in the congressman's investment and catalysts on the horizon. So what exactly are the 2 strategies you could use to play this stock? Well, if you're a long-term investor, if you're looking at SBFM as a long-term play, you're essentially betting on their ability to take ADVA27A through the FDA approval process and onto the market. If successful, this could be a game changer, and the potential for a multi-bagger returns is very, very real. But remember, this is biotech and the risk is high. I don't think the long-term play is the way to go on this. In fact, the short-term play is probably the way to go here. Short-term traders, on the flip side, if you're more interested in day or swing trading, well, this stock offers plenty of opportunities for potential short-term gains, especially around key news events. Watch for any updates on clinical trials or partnerships, or any updates in terms of the overall FDA pipeline. These are the kinds of news stories that can trigger sharp price movements, and if you can get in before a predetermined date on a start of a phase trial or the end of a phase trial or an FDA decision, well, all of a sudden you can play the run up and then get out at the announcement, or play a post reaction. Just make sure that you got a tight stop loss. Okay, now risks to consider. Of course, we can't talk about penny stocks without discussing the risks. Number 1, regulatory challenges. Biotech companies face significant regulatory hurdles. It's very, very difficult. FDA approval is never a sure thing, and the process is long, expensive, and can be unpredictable. With Sunshine Biopharma, it's no exception, and just because one congressman owns it doesn't mean it's guaranteed to win. I just believe that when you have a congressman buying something and he's on the committees that regulate it, well, all of a sudden you got to start thinking, maybe there's something more to pay attention to here, and that's why we have it on your radar today. Number 2, high volatility. Of course, like most penny stocks, SBFM is volatile. Its stock price can swing wildly based on news, speculation, or even broader market conditions. So if you're not prepared for sharp moves, this stock just may not be for you. Number 3, funding needs. Biotech companies often need to raise capital, and Sunshine Biopharma is likely no different, which might negatively affect the stock price. Number 4, execution risk. Even with a promising pipeline, there's always execution risk. SBFM has to effectively bring their drugs to market, manage partnerships, and navigate the complexities of the biotech industry. Any misstep along the way could hurt their stock. So anyways, to wrap it up, SBFM, Sunshine Biopharma, is a speculative biotech penny stock with a promising drug pipeline, upcoming catalysts, and the back end of a key political figure. While it's not without risk, the potential upside makes it a stock worth watching in my view. Anyways, folks, that caps off today's video. Make sure to get your up to 30 free stocks with Mumu with that link down below, and we will see you in the next video.